It's Wednesday, August 14. In the headlines, Prime Minister Andrew Holness declares state of emergency in Clarendon. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz doubts JPS's restoration numbers. In business news, the National Housing Trust announces mortgage payment freeze, grants and other programs for homeowners affected by Hurricane Beryl. Regionally, more initiatives to fight dengue spike in Trinidad and Tobago. And in sports, Guyana leading the way in Caribbean school boys and girls boxing. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Minister of Energy, Darrell Vaz, is demanding that the Jamaica Public Service, JPS, provide a comprehensive report outlining areas still without electricity and the timelines for restoration. On Tuesday, the Jamaica Public Service Company reported that it has successfully met its forecasted post-Beryl restoration milestone of August 12. In a statement published on its website, JPS says, quote, "The majority JPS customers who were impacted by outages related to Hurricane Beryl have been restored. Of the company's 692,000 customers, approximately 682,000 now have supply," end quote. The utility company furthers that the restoration efforts have seen the return to normalcy for all parishes except St. Elizabeth. There are a few isolated outages remaining, mainly in the parishes of Westmoreland, Manchester, and rural St. Andrew, due to access challenges including landslides, blocked roads, damaged bridges, and dangerous terrain, which have delayed the restoration process. In his response to the report, Minister Vaz says in a statement to the press that claim was not in line with reports from some members of Parliament. He is quoted saying, "I'm imploring JPS to do a review and to make public what the situation is of today, because their statement is in contrast to what the reports that are coming in fast and furious. I hope that they are accurate, but we need to know definitively. And we need to get the schedule from now going to the 31st as a matter of urgency," end quote. For its part, JPS says it will be redeploying teams and other resources to St. Elizabeth to ensure that every customer is restored as safely and as quickly as possible. The PBCJ's Carol Francis and Marlon Samuels have won an award at the Caribbean Broadcast Union's Media Awards for excellence in environmental reporting on mangroves and seagrass beds. The team's piece was entitled "Protecting Jamaica's Own." The state has intensified its investigation into the Cherry Tree Lane massacre, which left 8 people dead and others suffering from injuries. A curfew was imposed following Sunday night's mass shooting in Cherry Tree Lane, which is located in Four Paths, Clarendon. The country was updated on the work being done by the Joint Security Forces at a press brief held at Jamaica House on Wednesday.
This is as a result of our analysis of the intelligence available and the very high probability, indeed, I would go as far as to say, even though it was not said by Acting Commissioner Bailey, attempts at retaliation and reprisals.
Deputy Police Commissioner Fitz Bailey says the response from the security forces has been swift.
We have since seized an illegal firearm and have apprehended at least 5 persons. In fact, 1 person turned himself in yesterday. We continue to work tirelessly to uncover the truth and ensure that those responsible are held accountable under the rule of law.
He says the investigation has revealed that the crime is linked to 6 previous violent deaths in Clarendon.
Include a quadruple murder in Havana Heights in 2021, a murder committed on April 21st, 2024, and a subsequent shooting and arson that was committed on April 25 in West Park. The other incidents include a murder that was committed on April 29 in the Cherry Tree Lane, a murder that was committed on May 11 along Fogar Road, Maypen, as well as a murder that was committed on May 15 in Yorktown.
DCP Bailey explained that the violence is being instigated by multiple players in the criminal world. Chief of Defense Staff at the Jamaica Defense Force, Vice Admiral Antoinette Weemis Gorman, says the JDF has already hit the ground in Clarendon, but they need information from the public.
Our commitment to ensuring that this cowardly act in Clarendon and other criminal activities will be dealt with, and the military capabilities of the Jamaica Defense Force remain available and will be used in full force to support the JCF to bring back order, not only in Clarendon, but to ensure that Jamaicans can feel safe as they do their normal business. We also ask that persons with information call our tip line. The JDF tip line is 876-827-8888.
A section of Grandspin Road in St. Andrew will be closed to vehicular traffic as of Thursday, August 15 until Saturday, August 31. The closure is to facilitate the rehabilitation of that section of roadway. Manager of Communication and Customer Services at the National Works Agency, Stephen Shaw, says the roadway, which features a fording, has deteriorated in recent times due to water carried on the wheels of motor vehicles. The road has a combination of asphaltic concrete and a rigid concrete pavement. The section with the asphaltic concrete has significantly deteriorated and is badly rotted. Mr. Shaw says the $18.1 million project, which will last for 4 months, will see the rigid concrete section being extended to reduce the impact of water from the drain on the road. Motorists should not attempt to use the area during the period of the closure and are advised to use alternative routes to access their destinations. The National Commercial Bank, Jamaica, has reported low usage of the local central bank digital currency, Jamex. During a media briefing on Friday, NCB Jamaica's CEO, Bruce Bowen, suggested that the limited options for using the digital currency and the process involved might be contributing to its slow adoption. Bowen explained, quote, "If you look at our CBDC volumes, it might seem like Link hasn't been successful. However, overall volumes show that it has been very successful. Currently, it's easier for people to use Link without converting to CBDC. The question we're considering is whether we should invest heavily in reducing the friction of using CBDC or focus on building a broader ecosystem instead." End quote. This comes after the central bank expressed disappointment in the slow adoption of Jamex and the limited number of banks offering digital wallets. NCB's Link remains the only publicly available CBDC wallet, with at least one other bank testing a wallet in a sandbox environment. Since 230 million units of Jamex were minted by the Bank of Jamaica in 2021, the total amount has increased to 257 million as at the end of July. Time now for the business report. In the business report, the National Housing Trust, NHT, has opened the application window for homeowners impacted by the passage of Hurricane Beryl in July in the form of a mortgage payment freeze, a $300,000 grant, and a $1.5 million loan. The application window will close on September 30, 2024. Regional telecoms provider Liberty Latin America says it expects there to be a financial fallout from its subsidiary C&W Caribbean as a result of the passage of Hurricane Beryl last month. The company made the disclosure in its report on the second quarter and half-year financial results, which was marked by organic growth. The telecoms provider also anticipates that it will need to replace up to $20 million in infrastructure and equipment which were damaged beyond repair or to enhance network resiliency. C&W Caribbean will recoup some funds through insurance payments triggered in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. It expects to receive net third-party proceeds of approximately $44 million. Time now for a look at the latest report on local and regional stock exchanges from Denise Williams.
During trading for the period of August 13, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited US dollar priced shares with 16,701,897 units represented 42.16% of the trading volume on the market. Food and beverage distributor Express Catering Limited with 5,005,800 units represent 12.63% of the trading volume on the market. Toll operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited Jamaican dollar priced shares with 3,031,912 units represent 7.65% of trading volume on the market. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On August 13, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $84.71 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $78.43 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $157.78 and bought the US dollar for $156.38. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.40, which represents a profit to Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $2.33 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $112.94 and bought for $115.27. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $6.76, selling it for $202.99 and buying it for $196.23. For the credit report tip of the day, if you're over 50 and planning early retirement, it's the perfect time to focus on rebuilding your credit and leveraging loans to invest in income-producing assets. We have 2 suggestions. Become an authorized user. If you have a good relationship, ask a family member or close friend with good credit to add you as an authorized user on their credit card. This can help improve your credit score by leveraging their positive payment history. Another suggestion is to diversify your credit mix. If you only have credit cards, consider taking out a small personal loan or auto loan. A diverse credit mix can positively impact your credit score.
In regional news, Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Health, Terence Dayal Singh, says the ministry is gearing up for a further increase in dengue cases and putting measures in place to reduce fatalities. More in this report.
With 8 deaths and over 800 confirmed cases of dengue fever in the country, the Minister of Health, Terence Dayal Singh, said there's a new initiative to reduce the effects of the virus on the country.
We are preparing for an increase in cases. That is why we have activated the Couva facility. I urge people to make use of that facility. We have introduced similar lines of treatment at the other RHAs. Eastern is doing something similar so that people on the Eastern Seaboard don't have to go to Couva.
Minister Dayal Singh said 441 notices to clean up properties have been issued by public health inspectors after inspecting more than 160,000 homes across the country.
At all parts of the country, Northwest, Couva, Eastern, there are these facilities where you can go in for early screening, get all the advice you want, and I want to leave the population with one piece of advice. Because what I am seeing is a repeat of the COVID experience, where people just took too long to come in to be treated, to be diagnosed, and to be screened.
Medical Chief of Staff at the Couva Medical and Multi-Training Medical Facility, Dr. Ravi Lala, described the health sector's latest initiative, a dengue early symptom screening center.
So from early on, as soon as you start to have symptoms, our hope is that we'd have patients coming to us. And from there, we could do early assessments, we could do interventions as necessary, we could do screening for dengue, and importantly, we could set up reviews for patients.
The Couva Dengue Screening Facility will be operating on a daily basis from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. In addition, the North Central Regional Health Authority has set up a dengue hotline, which will be in operation from Monday to Sunday between the hours of 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Members of the public can call 663-3015 to speak to nursing staff for education and prevention tips on dengue fever. Terry-Ann Brown-Campbell, TTT News.
With Guyana's rapid transformation underway, thanks to the oil and gas sector, which is fueling other sectors of the economy, the country is experiencing a labor deficit that is now more than 100,000. Foreign Secretary Robert Prasad made that announcement on Monday. As a result, there is an aggressive drive to get Guyanese abroad to return home. To aid in this, the government of Guyana, in collaboration with the private sector, recently held a job fair in New York, targeting Guyanese there. Various industry leaders and stakeholders participated to facilitate connections and collaboration.
You know, as the fastest growing economy in the world, there is a lot of room for Guyanese here, but also tapping into the Guyanese that we have with rich skills and also with competence to contribute to the development, contribute to what's taking place in our country. So these companies have identified areas in which they're looking at skills. And many of these companies have sought to have recruitment done locally, but could not find either the number, but also the type of skills that they need. So rather than importing foreign labor or non-nationals, this is an opportunity, a very unique opportunity for us to go to the diaspora, go to the global Guyanese diaspora, and to tap those skills, to come and to engage and work with these companies, so they too can not only realize their own individual company goals as objective, but also contribute to the country's overall progress. Because as we stand right now, we have a deficit in terms of labor across the board in excess of 100,000.
The Caribbean Media Awards ceremony was held on Tuesday night in Placencia, Belize. Media workers from across the region will find out later if their submissions will receive an award. We begin with Monday night's opening ceremony for the CBU's annual general meeting. The environment took center stage at the ceremony with a keynote address from the country's Prime Minister, John Bresenio. News 5's Paul Lopez filed the following report.
Caribbean Broadcasting Union officially opened its 55th Annual General Assembly on Monday night at the Naya Resort in Placencia Village. The opening ceremony saw several presentations that captured the diverse ethnicities and cultures in Belize. But the environment took center stage as the theme for this year's AGA is media and the environment.
There are so many parts of the country that are protected. You know, you just can't go around burning down trees and cutting down trees. And that just struck me because maybe people in Belize don't know that that's not like everywhere in the Caribbean is not like that, right? The fact that you have, by law, protected your environment with policy is not something that is common across the region. And I'm praying to you all, do not take it for granted.
Prime Minister John Briceño was the keynote speaker at the opening event. He highlighted several government policy initiatives undertaken by his administration to safeguard the country's natural heritage.
We here in Belize, we are deeply committed to the environmental sustainability and preservation. I'm pleased that you all decided to focus this year's meeting on such a critical issue, media and the environment. Today I will share with you some of the work of my government, the work that we're doing in the areas of conservation and preservation. As a government, we are deeply committed to safeguarding our natural heritage and promoting sustainable practices that will ensure the long-term healthy and viability of our environment. As journalists, I trust you have all done your research, and so you know that Belize is home to a rich diversity of ecosystems, including pristine rainforests, vibrant coral reefs, and abundant wildlife.
The Caribbean is at the front line of the negative effects of climate change. Unpredictable weather patterns fueled by fossil fuel emissions have caused significant damage to vibrant and necessary ecosystems. The media plays a key role in helping to inform the public, tell the stories of those affected, and hold authorities accountable.
In sports, the annual Winfield Brathwaite Caribbean School Boys and Girls Boxing Championship started 7 years ago, with Guyana and 2 other countries competing against each other. The brainchild of Guyana Boxing Association President Steve Ninvale, the tournament has grown exponentially over the years, with more Caribbean countries traveling to these shores to compete. For Ninvale, it is a measure of the success of the competition, the only one of its kind in the Caribbean and Latin America.
Well, the reason why they're coming, we're quite organized, we're well organized. Guyana's always been, and we've always been able to take risk.
That's President of the Guyana Boxing Association, Steve Ninvale, speaking days before the 7th Annual Caribbean Championship, slated for August 16th to the 18th at the National Gymnasium, Mandela Avenue. Ninvale and his team are looking to build on the successes of previous years by allowing young boxers the opportunity to fine-tune their craft through high-level competition.
We took a risk when we started this in 2016. We would have had 3 countries participating, Guyana, St. Lucia, and I think Jamaica. And it has grown from there. But the other thing is that it's the only of its kind in Latin America. So outside of the Caribbean too, you do not have a schoolboys tournament. And in most of the Caribbean countries, there's no schoolboy program. So a lot of the countries coming to participate, they gravitate towards this because of the fact that they will not have something like this again for the entire year. Guyana has been having, every month we've been having 2, and in the past 2 months we've had 8 on the 16 competitions. So that said, you know, we understand the importance of it. We understand that Desmond Amsterdam and Kevin Alicock and these guys would not be around for much longer. So that is why we are feeding our nursery and hoping that we nourish our nursery.
Ninvale has touted this year's competition to be the biggest ever in terms of participation. Already, boxers from Grenada have arrived in the country, while the Bajan pugilists are expected in on Wednesday, followed by the other teams arriving. Guyana will field a team of 28 boxers who are currently encamped under the watchful eyes of coaches Francisco Roldan, Terence Poole, Lennox Daniels and Clifton Moore. For Ninvale, he's confident Guyana can make a successful defense of the overall title won in 2023, with the biggest challenge coming from Trinidad and Tobago in his estimation. Reporting for Newsroom, I'm Avinash Ramzan.
That's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.